4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, boys? Welcome to the 11.05 AoE Shaman Guide update. I know you guys been asking me so many times, when is the update coming? When is it coming? It's coming right now. Today we're recording it live on stream. After this, it's going to be immediately uploaded on YouTube. We have been testing for the past how many hours? I think it's been 11 hours, as you guys can see here. 11 and 15 minutes. Well, I guess 10 hours and 15 minutes. And honestly, I tested a shit ton of stuff. Tested from AoE talents, so like non-equals build. I tested LMT, P-Waves. I tested also Herald to the Storm, 2 minutes Ascension. Honestly, I tried probably around 5 or 6 builds. And there is one thing that I can guarantee you for certain. You will never ever touch Far's here again, okay? As far as I look at these things right now for Mythic Plus, you will never be touching Far's here. Anyway, to get back to the video today, we're gonna talk about rotation. That is the only thing we should be mentioning in this video. If you guys don't know what talents you want to be playing, stats, trinkets, whatever, build optimization, that is in the video below that. So if you are here for the rotation, you are in the right place. So, last but not least, one final disclaimer. Anything that I say today, it's purely from my own finding and things that I have been testing so far and the way that I see my character. Honestly, I cannot guarantee you that everything that I say is going to be true, but that's going to be the way I play the game, my take. So if you guys want to check out other sources like Wowhead or Ice Veins, please check them out as well, compare and choose what is, you know, best for you. I'm here to share you my opinion, okay? So, first of all, this is the build that I pretty much have set my eyes on. That's what I'm going to be playing at least in the following days until they change it or nerf it or whatever they want to do. I like the idea of having longer elementals because some of the packs on high keys last longer. So I swapped my Thunderstrike Ward for Echo of the Elements. Now, if you don't play high keys, you might want to swap that back for it just because it's just more passive damage throughout the key. I like this one better personally because it suits my playstyle and the way we play with my group. So that is the only change from like the quote-unquote standard build. Alright, so talking about AoE here, I have several, I guess, quotas or like showcases for AoE. The first and foremost is going to be more than 6 targets or 6 targets. That's where SoP pretty much matters. If you guys have been playing LA before and you have seen my guide at the start of the season, it's pretty much the same shit. You chain lighting, this time into Earthshock and then into Earthquake. Now, why is that? Because you're playing a talent called Echoes of the Great Sundering, which is something that enhances your Earthquake once you press the Earthshock. The only thing that I do in between those Earthshocks and Earthquakes is I use Surge of Power for my chain lighting. Disclaimer, Surge of Power right now is working on Tempest. So as soon as you have a Tempest proc, I prioritize that over chain lighting in AoE. One small note, I am uncertain whether Surge of Power is worth to consume on 6 or more targets with Stormkeeper chain lighting, or it's better to have Tempest with Surge of Power on mass targets. Uncertain for now. Perhaps it's gonna be up there for grabs. Maybe a few more days of testing I would have a definitive answer, but so far I've been only using Stormkeeper with Surge of Power with chain lightings, and every other time that I have Surge of Power I try to use that for my Tempest. Okay, that's pretty much what I do for AoE. Now, between 2 and 5 targets, I always prioritize Surge of Power for my Tempest. Always. There is something that I've always done for the past couple of hours, and it works the best so far. Now, to the question that you guys have been asking the most is it worth to use Flame Shock in AoE? The short answer is gonna be yes. The long answer, probably no. I'm gonna tell you why. Because of this talent, Elemental Equilibrium. This is the only way that you can proc your Elemental Equilibrium through fire spells. Whether Deary proc of Ascension, or Ascendance itself, or Flame Shock, Lava Burst, that's pretty much how you can proc the Elemental Equilibrium. If you play that, what I usually do is, at the start of the pack, if I don't have Ascension or Ascendance, I like to cast my Flame Shock at the start of the pack, so therefore I can try to proc this early on as soon as I begin my burst. Other than this, I don't really cast it in AoE ever. I also never cast Lava Surge in AoE. I only start casting Lava Surge as soon as I get to like 2 targets. Other than this, I completely ignore lava surge and you know, and everything else. The same thing with Ice Fury. Another common question: is it worth to cast Ice Fury in AoE? The long answer is no. Short answer is sometimes if you're like moving left to right and you have no other global to press, no spirit walkers, then I'll press it personally. Other than this, I don't really care about Ice Fury. I only start to press Ice Fury on 2 targets and 1 target. Now, there's been cases where I've pressed Ice Fury on 3 targets if there's like a private damage to do. But that's going to be extremely rare cases and likely not going to be worth for the majority of you. Okay, that's pretty much the most common question that I've been getting so far all day. And last but not least is going to be, is it worth to swap targets during a lightning rod? What I have done so far is I always swap targets with Earthshock and Tempest to apply lightning rod, and during Earthquake I never tap targets here. Because it's Earthquake has a smart cast. Pretty much if your target already has lightning rod, it's gonna automatically reapply that lightning rod to the next target or the nearby targets. There's one exception that I have to this rule, is that if you have a priority to target, let's say you're fighting a boss and there's like a multiple mobs around the boss, I don't ever swap Earthshock and Tempest off the main target. Even though it's a DPS loss for me, I prefer to nuke that prior target quicker. So my team can be safer. That's what I have done so far. In any sense, I'm going to show you right now a sample of the rotation live on stream or even on YouTube, and you guys can slow it down later on and check on the right corner right here. You can see my cast sequence, what I usually press. So yeah, just enjoy what I do. And I'm going to walk you slowly after that and explain things by things why I have done this global and that global. All right, watch this. Unfortunately, I did not have my spy masters, only 2 stacks, which pretty much sucks, you know. Wait, getting a little bit lax here in Valdraken. Sorry, in whatever that is called, Dorongo, whatever it's called. Yeah, it's a little bit laggy here, but I feel like there might be a lot of people around this chart, so yeah. So pretty much the sample rotation here would be always try to if I know that the pack I have every single cooldown and DRE, Ascension at the beginning, what I did right now is, once again, I'm going to show you on stream. I start the pack with casting a Frost Shock. Even though it might be used as global, if you play with Elemental Equilibrium, you trigger the Frost aspect of the Elemental Equilibrium, and as soon as you cast Ascendance, that triggers the Fire one. So you automatically get like 10% damage increase during your burst. That's what I've been doing with the Ascendance. Now, there's several things that you guys saw me do, is swapping targets during Tempest and also Earthshocking. Once again, you Earthshock in AoE because you are getting echoes of the Great Sundering. Something that, you know, you will most likely play in majority of your keys. There are different builds that don't play that, but for now, purely speaking that's what I do myself. So pretty much that's the AoE part. I've been talking for the past 10 minutes, but I believe it was important for me to, you know, show you guys what I do myself so you can be the judge. All right, let's move forward to the single target. Okay, now the single target is an area where a lot of people struggle or have been previously struggling historically, and they often ask me, hey, how do I do better single target? Now, obviously the most primitive answer here would be, well, hold your cooldowns. Preferably, you would always like to have Ascendance and Storm Elemental for single target. Always, what I have done personally myself is whenever you play with Spy Master Trinket, I have that one during single target with my Elemental and Ascendance. Once again, they always go hand to hand. I always play Elemental with my Trinket and my Ascendance. I never really play 2-minute Ascendance. I tried it, but it's pretty much, you know, bad. And I never offset the casts in between them. I always hold them together. That is something that I've done myself so far, and it works the best for me. Now, for the single target, what I like to do is I like to maintain Flame Shock on a single target at all times and alternate between buffing my Lightning Bolts and Tempest with Surge of Power, and also using Lava Burst and Ice Fury to proc my Elemental Blast from Fusion of Elements. In any case, I'm going to show you right now the rotation for you guys so you can see where I'm coming from and you can be the judge. Now, keep in mind, there's one thing that I am not quite certain at yet, is that whether or not it's worth to cast Ice Fury during Ascension window or Ascendance window. I am uncertain yet if that is the case. So far, I've tried both, using Ice Fury during Ascendance to proc my Elemental Blast from Fusion of Elements, or ignoring it at the same time. I am uncertain what's better. Perhaps in the following days I will know for certain. So far I decided to ignore it. Perhaps it is wrong, but then again, I am gonna be further testing and, you know, figuring things out going forward. So what I like to do is I always like to have a pretty Stone Keeper before the Who, as always, and then after this I like to open with either only Flame Shock or Lava Burst into Flame Shock by the time my tank goes in melee. So something like this. Well, my Stone Keepers are gonna run away. They will run away. Fuck. It's alright. Now I'm gonna try to play it right now for you guys. One thing that I always like to do is I like to combine Tempest with Surge of Power. That is something that I've been doing for pretty much all day, and it feels so good, you know. So pretty much I always Surge of Power and Power of the Maelstrom during Lightning Bolt, and if I don't have it, then I alternate Lava Burst. One thing that I don't do is I never cast back-to-back Lava Burst, because I like to use my Master of the Elements proc for that matter. Why is it laggy here in Valdraken? Sorry, in Dorango. It's actually insane. It is quite laggy right now, but it's okay. We're gonna make it work, boys. Right now without Lust, and I kind of fucked up my Stormkeep opener. I don't think it's a bad single target, you know, per se. I think we're looking quite good here. But as you can see, the main goal for you here would be to always... I'm gonna stop right now. The main goal here for you would be always to try to use Lightning Bolt during your Surge of Power and Power of the Maelstrom. And if you don't have this, and if you don't have Tempest, then I like to cast Lava Burst. I also cast Lava Burst during Ascendance. I tried today to not cast it, and it feels a bit worse in my opinion. So I always try to alternate that. The only rule that I have myself is never cast double back-to-back Lava Burst, because I want to consume my Master of the Elements proc with Lightning Bolt or Tempest or Choke before I cast another one. I also never cast Lava Burst or Lava Surge whenever I have my Surge of Power or Power of the Maelstrom. I like to use Lightning Bolt or Tempest. And last but not least, make sure that you always, and again exclusively, hold your single target cooldowns whenever the boss is coming. Otherwise, you're gonna end up doing pretty much like bad single target. That is pretty much what I do for single target. Then again, things are due to change likely, because we're probably gonna get a nerf, seeing how things are right now. Yeah, you can just you know, have your own merits and decide for yourself whether or not you like to stick with Ellie. Alright, so we covered 3 targets, we covered AoE, we covered single target, we covered builds, we covered pretty much a lot of things. The only thing that you guys have been not being, I guess, presented is going to be 2 targets. Now, 2 targets is where things are getting very dicey. Very dicey in regards to... there's a lot of possibilities here, because 2 targets is quite rare in Mythic Plus. There's several bosses that, you know, present that opportunity, like for example, Mists. In a City of Threats, second boss, for example, is 2 targets. I mean, there are a few occasions where you're gonna meet that.
Thanks for teaching us, smiley face.
No problem. For the 2 targets, what I've been doing myself is 2 things. First, and always, I always try to cast Surge of Power once again, and Power of the Maelstrom with Lightning Bolt. That's what I do myself personally. Second thing is always Echoes of the Great Sundering Earthquake on 2 targets. I never Earth Shock. I only Earth Shock to get my Echoes buff. After that is always Earthquake. And last but not least, I try to wave in Ice Fury to make sure that I get myself the Elemental Blast procs on 2 targets. That's what I have been pretty much doing myself, and so far has been working successfully. Now, there are things that I believe will likely change due to this, because again, the question, are we going to keep Flame Shock up available at all times? The answer to that question is I am uncertain whether or not you want to be keeping 2 Flame Shocks at a time on targets. I guess if you don't play LMT, and if you don't have Lava Burst to proc your Elemental Blast from Fusion, then it's not really worth to do it. So let me show you what I do myself on 2 targets, and you guys can be the judge. I will slow down after that. that's pretty much the burst. And now from here onwards is pretty much trying to sustain onto targets. I always like to chain lightning here whenever I don't have anything else to press. Now, if I have, for example, Stormkeeper, Surge of Power, or Powered Mist from a Lightning Bolt, I also Lightning Bolt during Ascendance into targets, because sometimes, well, there's always going to be one proud target. There's never going to be, for example, you know, there's never going to be an example where you're struggling to... I mean, I guess, yes, in Stone Vault, for example, second boss, it's actually important to, like, cleave them together. But during Ascendance, I cast Lightning Bolts pretty much onto targets. Without Ascendance, I'm doing Chain Lightnings without... no SoP, no Ascendance, no Power of the Maelstrom, no Tempest. I do usually Lightning Bolts. And with... Sorry. Yeah, so without all those buffs, I Chain Lightning. With all those buffs, I just Lightning Bolt. You know, that's pretty much what I do. Now, there is a specific spots where, for example, if you already Tempest and you get 2 free Arc Discharge procs and you have a Tempest again, then the question is, would you consume... Like, at this point, I usually use Chain Lightning to consume the two stacks of Arc Discharge, and then I just do Tempest again, so I don't lose like a free Chain Lightning. So that's what I've been doing myself personally. And I always Earthquake onto targets unless they move all the time. Then I just don't. It's kind of wonky still into targets. I haven't really certainly, you know, got to the rhythm of where I'm confident onto targets, but I've been getting better and better, and I feel like that's the path that I'm gonna go for. So anyway, boys, that was pretty much everything that I covered today. I hope that was helpful to everybody, even you guys on Twitch that you guys watch me live on stream, and people on YouTube. That's what I've been, you know, trying out all day, as you guys can see. Now, one thing before I leave you guys, there are a lot of builds right now. There is a Surge of Power builds, there's a Earthshock build, there's Aftershock builds, No Equals builds, LMT, P-Wave. There's like a 5 or 6 different builds. There isn't any build that is, so far, in my opinion, like the only build you want to go for. All of the builds are fine. All of the builds are great. The only build that you should never go is Farseer. Everything else is up for grabs and testing right now. It's the first day of 11.05 patch, so anything is absolutely possible. Experiment yourself, give it a try, tweak shit around the way I did myself. Honestly, at least myself, I had a big pleasure of testing everything for you guys today on stream. Once again, any questions, you guys can poke me on Discord. Check out my socials if you want to have more questions. And once again, I always am live on Twitch pretty much every day. You guys can come say hi and hang out with me. That's pretty much everything for the video. Take care, have a good one, and I'll see you guys on stream. Bye bye.